Obsessed with sounds on the track.
What's up, YouTube? OWS the King. Welcome back to the channel. The fuck was I was gonna talk about? Video games. I gotta get Mike Dealey thing to fit this properly. It's like me when I put on Magnums. But what I wanted to talk about today is what I'm playing at the moment. Got 3 games that I'm into right now. Just a few games that I've been getting into and trying out and just give my thoughts on them. What have you guys been playing lately? You know, put them in the comment section, and yeah, let's do it. Also, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Give a comment. That'd be dope too. And yeah, let's get to it. Ninja 1987. This is a modern day Ninja Gaiden NES clone that aesthetically hits that nostalgia feeling right from the start. The story is typical, very light in that aspect. It's 1987, an evil ninja fucking some shit up, and a good ninja needs to come and save the world. Pretty much that's it. I remember being one of those obsessed kids in the 80s who loved everything karate or ninja. Every karate flick like American Ninja or Bloodsport, or going to TV cartoons, shows like Ninja Turtles was a staple with kids in those days. And games like Ninja Gaiden scratched that itch of being a ninja in video game form. The problem was that those games was hard as hell. And the phrase NES hard was made for games like Ninja Gaiden. It could have been directly talking about that game. That game is no cakewalk. Fast forward to this game, it kind of irons out the good in those 3rd generation games and adds some modern flavor, taking out the bad and pulling out all of the good. This game almost landed the mark with only one issue of the game was damn near game breaking, if not for my old NES kid savviness. The game comes off as simplistic but hard to master. You start with your sword, which is your normal attack. As you beat certain enemies, they'll drop throwing stars and health, and these lightning bolts that raise your meter so you can use for a screen clearing super or a super dash. And that's it. So far as action is concerned, you'll be doing a lot of platforming. So the added double jump is a plus. When enemies hit you, you'll have this slight stun pause instead of that jump back crap that would always happen in games like Ninja Gaiden and Castlevania. I'm glad Ninja 1987 didn't inherit that mechanic. The game is challenging but fair, and with just 7 stages, you can get through this in one play. So after beating the game and getting my first platinum for 2025, I looked at reviews and folks complained about the difficulty. I'm not actually sure how they would differ from retro games, because if Ninja Gaiden is a 10 on a difficulty scale, this was a mere 5. Even my old ass has beaten Gaiden only once. This took me 2 days. All that being said, this game is great. Ticks all the boxes for value, fun, and maybe replayability, with that needed difficulty that will keep you invested in playing. My only issue almost broke the game. It would have broken the game for most, but given what we 80s kids dealt with to play certain games, it helped me again with this glitch. So the only main flaw of this game was this glitch that, just like Ninja Gaiden, they have this thing where when you can jump on walls, you stick to it and then you can climb up it or what have you. Well, this game had it too. and maybe about 4 different times in the game, I got stuck on certain walls. And this is typical NES shit. It happened a couple of times in the game to the point where you felt like that they put that in there as a troll. And so so you jump on the wall, or you jump on a platform, or you just jump on a base and you can't get off of it. You stuck to it, and you automatically stick to these walls in the first place. But when you're pressing the button and it seems like it just forgets to let go. So the first time I figured it out, and I'll put on B-roll for this, is that I'm pressing all the buttons. I can't get off this thing, pause, and I'm pressing all the freaking buttons and shit. Why in the hell did I press pause and I saw my guy move up a little, and then I paused it again, unpaused it, and then I paused it again, and he scooted up some more, and he did this thing a couple of times, and to the point where he was just climbing up this invisible fucking wall. I'm like, what the dick is going on? And it is so funny because this is something that NES game would do. It happens all the fucking time, and anybody that knows NES and plays NES games, they know that they've had a glitch just like this. And it's so funny is because this is basically a modern game playing on a retro type of game tendencies. So this is it was very weird. And so I'm clicking up and I'm just scooting up, and I almost cleared the roof of the screen. I slide down to the point where you can scoot off, or you can get hit by somebody and then it just automatically knocks you out. Instead of just cutting it off and just saying, well, screw this, I just kept on pressing pause on and off, and it worked. And it's so weird. It was almost like a nostalgia thing to figure out a glitch, because we used to have these all the time, or having to work around cartridge just to play a game, let alone trying to figure out why you're having this glitch while you're playing. So very weird. I thought that was funny, but over and all, that was my first platinum for this year. Fun game, recommended. Just watch out for them walls, man. You stick right onto them and can't just look out. So Uncharted 2 is the second Uncharted game I've played, but it's the first time I'm playing as Nathan Drake. Like I mentioned in the previous video, I already played the 5th game, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, where you control Chloe. I'm not a gamer that insists on diving into games, franchises in order, but it actually helped me with some of the backstory here. So you kick things off with Nathan, who's knocked out in a train wreck, hanging off a cliff. I thought it was a cool way to start the story. It drops you right off in the middle. Soon enough, you find out Nathan is teaming up with Chloe and this guy, Harry Flynn. The three of you get into a heist, and then Your buddy turns on you, and it's chaos from there. I'm not done with the game yet. I'm about 80% through it, but I'm really into the story. There's a lot to unpack, which has kept me hooked through it all. Drake kind of reminds me of modern Indiana Jones mixed with a dude version of Lara Croft. I know some folks love the dude, but honestly, there were moments in this game where he got on my nerves. It's funny hearing Deadpool in his voice during the more intense scenes, since the same voice actor does both. I don't really have anything I hate about the game. It took a bit for the action to really kick in, but the story and visuals kept me engaged. The action was decent most of the time, with some really awesome parts sprinkled in. Like getting chased by a tank jeep in an alley was dope. Some of the gunfights had me really thinking about the strategy and using cover instead of going in guns blazing, which is a nice change of pace. I'm not usually a fan of forced stealth sections in games, but this one didn't make it a must thing to do. So when the action hits, it's top notch. Hanging off of buildings, shooting enemies, then grabbing a riot shield from a dude and take down someone with a shotgun. Yeah, to me, that stuff is dope. But I do have two issues that kind of go together. The pacing and how much climbing and platforming there is. I get that climbing is a big part of the game's charm, but sometimes it just felt like filler. I mean, scaling stuff just to open up doors got repetitive after a while. I'll dive into this game more when I do my February game rankings, so look out for that. But overall, I really enjoyed the game. Really enjoyed Uncharted 2. It didn't let me down. I never had a desire to play Bastion, but as I have been working on my goal to play at least one role-playing game a month, I found Bastion scrolling through my Xbox 360 digital game list and wanted to try it out. I read the synopsis and saw that this was an action RPG. As usual, since time is valuable for me when I'm trying to start a new video game, I went to How Long to Beat app to check the length. The main story had a runtime about 6 hours, which is perfect for me. This pretty much addresses all my concerns. It's not a turn-based game, thank God, and it's under 10 hours. So for that, you can sign me the fuck up. You start as a kid, which that's your character's name. You wake up in bed and begin a tutorial narrated by a guy that you find out who he is later, who describes everything to you and describes everything that you do. For instance, when I swung a mallet I found to knock down bricks, the narrator commented that I was blowing off steam. When I fell off a platform, he amusingly said, "And he died." That was unexpected but funny. In terms of weapons, right away you receive like a crossbow, a shield, and a sledgehammer. The sledgehammer that I mentioned earlier. Soon after, you get sent off to find these cores, which are like items that help expand the game world. You start creating different stores, which is foundations to manage the weapons you acquire and to upgrade your overall health, speed, and strength. Arsenal is a store where you can switch out weapons you collect throughout the game. The distillery is where you, once you level up, you can use currency to purchase upgrades like extra health, and the forge is where you upgrade your weapons. Why it wouldn't be in all in one place is beyond me, but it does make the Bastion, which is the home or hub that you can come back to every time you find a new core. And it's straightforward. I can simply visit one of these stores after leveling up to improve my character. I would like to point out that for a while there, I thought the protagonist was named Bastion and not the world he was in. Clearly, I need to pay more attention. Also appreciate the art style, the colorful, almost watercolor vibe. From what I can tell, I'm a couple of hours into the game. Each area is some sort of sky town, which has a cool aesthetic to it, but makes for some frustration when it comes to combat and exploration. As I navigated through narrow areas, I often fell off a platform. Sometimes it felt intentional as enemies cornered me and pushed me off, or sections of the foundation crumbled under me, leading to my death. The action was a star for me. Your X button and your B button play as your two weapons you can carry at once, and the right trigger plays as your special, which I have been changing out most, trying out different specials like being able to summon monsters or being able to leave landmines that explode when enemies brush against them. The action can get pretty intense when the monsters start swarming the screen. You don't have a jump button, but you do get a standard dodge roll, which you'll be using a lot. This isn't an RPG where you just sit back and spam attacks. You gotta hit those enemies and keep moving. As I'm playing, the story is starting to unfold. Honestly, that is not my main interest, but I'm only about 2 hours in, so who knows? It might get more engaging later. It was a major calamity, a real end of the world type of deal, and you're one of the lucky kids that survived. And now you have to restore things and figure out what happened. At one point, it looked like a lot of the folks in the town turned to stone. So overall, I'm enjoying the game. It's a fantastic pick up and play RPG that skips all the grindy nonsense that many games in this genre throw at you. I'm not finished yet, but I recommend it. Honestly, I can't believe this was under my radar for over a decade. So yeah, that's a few games that I've been playing over the past few days. Really dope. Really love the Bastion game. That one took me for a surprise. That was one of those games that you always saw in the Xbox store, and I would always pass it. I mean, because it started with the B's, but you always seen that cover art, and I was like, man. I think I mistaked this game for another game called Braid, and I always heard about the puzzle type of platforming that was in that game, and I didn't want no part of that shit. So I'm glad I was able to check this one out, and this is definitely one I'm going to try to finish before the beginning of March so I can put it in my rankings. So very good game, and it has a low print on PlayStation 4, but that they're asking a lot of fucking money for that game, so highly recommend it. So yeah, what games are you guys playing right now? Have you played any of these three? Let me know which one is your favorite. Like, which one is your favorite Uncharted game? Is Bastion out of the three your favorite? Just let me know in the comment section if you checked it out. Like and subscribe. Like the video, comment. It helps out. Appreciate it. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Obsessed with sounds on the track.